Welcome to Ultimate Wrestling Trivia, the show on YouTube. We appreciate you guys tuning in each and every Tuesday. Go ahead, smash that like button. We appreciate it. It goes a long way on our show. The man down there, Mr. Mike Merc, the man in the middle. Don't call him Al Snow. He is Angelo Stefano. And my name is Devin. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you check out all our social media. We are on the X, the Instagram, TikTok, all over the place. You can find us on Facebook as well. Search Ultimate Wrestling Trivia. And don't forget, we have that Pro Wrestling Tee store as well. Search Ultimate Wrestling Trivia. Get yourself some swag for the last minutes of summer into fall. All right, well, we turn our attention to WWE. Bash in Berlin, I should say, not at Berlin, but it is at Berlin. The big pay-per-view happening Saturday, August 31st. They have a couple matches announced as of this recording, and then we're going to dip our toes into maybe some rumor matches, which we think that they will have as well. Well, the Terror Twins, that is Damien Priest, will team up with Rhea Ripley to face the Judgment Day Dirty Dom, Mysterio, and Liv Morgan in a mixed tag team matchup. How do we see this one playing out? There's a lot of bad blood going on in between those characters right there.
There is, and you definitely can tell that Damien Priest wants to get his hands on Finn Balor of the Judgment Day. But I think he'll have no problem at all swapping out Finn Balor for the bullseye that is Dirty Dom. And that should be a low-key, really good match.
Mm-hmm. I do like that they have like the, almost Damien Priest has to go through all these guys just to get to like Dirty Dom. He's got to go through the Finn. He's got to go through Carlito in that group just to get these, he's like taking them out one by one. So it's kind of interesting storytelling there. What do you think about the mixed tag team match?
I see this match as a typical run and chase match where
Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, it's pretty much going to be Dom and Liv running, trying not to get caught, trying every dirty trick in the book not to get caught, to keep the upper hand when they have it. Then the whole match should be based around them finally getting caught, maybe, hopefully, and it'll be fun to watch how it plays out. Dirty Dom is great.
Guy that I couldn't believe went from like heel to like even dirtier heel.
Right, you're like, well, he can't get much dirtier than what? Oh, he did. Yeah, he did. Okay, so this will be fun. I think so.
Bash in Berlin, of course, that's happening in Germany. Shout out to all our German folks out there. Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Ich liebe dich. Was ist das?
Thanks for the dumplings.
Yes. A singles match for the undisputed WWE Championship as Cody Rhodes puts it on the line against Kevin Owens.
Cody didn't want it, Kevin Owens didn't want it.
But the people want it.
The people want it. The general manager, Nick Aldis, made it so, recommended it. And I think that's going to be a great match, but there has to be some sort of interference,
You would think so.
And whether it's from the Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, who've been sort of poking the bear with Kevin Owens a little bit, that maybe that ends up gaining some steam, and maybe there's a tag match on the horizon. With the way the network's situated now, they don't necessarily need the buys for people to tune into that match. They can get away with throwing more fuel on the fire and prolonging the issue until there's a potential resolution later on down the line, be it on Raw or SmackDown, which you're probably going to see with some of these network changes happening here in the fall. You're going to see some, big debut kind of things that'll be pay-per-view or premium live event-esque. So
right. What do you think about this matchup?
I'm not sure why they have this either. I agree with Mike Merc. They have to have a reason. It's more than likely going to turn into something else for Kevin Owens. Like Mike said, I don't know what that is. Interference, yeah, probably. Or it could just be a straight Cody win. That wouldn't be out of the question either. We'll have to wait to find out.
Is it one of those things where WWE might be running out of opponents for Cody Rhodes that they have to throw a Kevin Owens at him?
I don't think it's running out of. It's just maybe how do you fill a gap here?
Okay, that could be it. We do like that they take the PLEs overseas since they did a lot with the Backlash. They were in France. The King and Queen tournament where they were in Saudi Arabia. Now this one in Germany brings a little more electricity from the crowd, I feel like, with these PLEs.
100%. The crowds overseas are just phenomenal. They're awesome, and they really kick the American crowd's butts.
Yeah, it's not even close, honestly.
Well, I mean, I chalk it up to the beer in Germany. It's a little bit stronger than American domestic, and that would explain the rowdy factor. That's just science, people.
Well, that is true.
It's not just me making things up. It's science.
Bash in Berlin. We also have crowd favorite, the Gunther, going to be putting the World Heavyweight Championship on the line against Randy Orton. If Randy Orton wins the championship, he'll be transferred to Raw, and Gunther will be transferred to SmackDown. How do we see this one playing out?
I don't think there's any way WWE has Gunther drop the title in Germany.
Okay. Or all those beers, as Stefano would say, would be making their way towards the ring, like when Hogan turned on Savage back in the day.
If you wanted to give Germany another reason to go to war with the world for a third time, it would be to take the strap off Gunther, see what happens.
I feel like that's a guy you got to keep the title on for some time, right, Gunther?
I would hope so. You have to let him run with it.
I mean, to plant that little seed of doubt, Randy Orton, is knocking on the door of most title wins.
True.
He did just sign a contract extension. Historically, a lot of times you saw wrestlers that when they signed extensions were given championship victories almost as a reward for signing that extension, or maybe that was part of the negotiation, so be it. And whether that happens here, I don't know. But
does it happen before his contract is done? Does Randy Orton break the record?
Ooh, I think he could tie the record. I think Cena might have a better chance of breaking the record, but those two could also be linked together too, so who knows?
I think someone ties the record, yes. Breaks it, no. But a tie I could see it being tied by one or two individuals.
I'm going to have the hot take and say Randy Orton breaks it before John Cena. I don't think John Cena will do it at all. We'll see. Another big match being reported for WWE Bash in Berlin 2024. As of this recording, it wasn't confirmed, but none other than Dave Meltzer was throwing it out there that CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, of course, being bitter enemies for quite some time, will face off against each other, which should be a tremendous matchup.
Yeah, Seth Rollins has been taken out of the picture by Bronson Reed. So there's some unfinished business there with Punk and McIntyre. But I don't know. I think if they were going to be doing that, I think that was something that would be announced and not more of a last-minute deal. So I think both of them will display a presence on this PLE. I don't think it'll be in a match against each other.
I think they would have advertised the match if they're going on the trip. Obviously, they'll have something to do there. Mike's probably right, some sort of a run-in. I don't have anything else to add.
Then also, what was it? The Intercontinental Championship is rumored to be on the line. Bronson Reed. Braun Breaker. Going to be defending against Sheamus.
Ludwig Kaiser. That's been a neat little three-way dance starting to take shape. And I could definitely see that as a triple threat type match. And there you have the instance of, you end up protecting both wrestlers rather than beating them clean. So I could definitely see that going the triple threat route with Braun Breaker retaining. He just won the Intercontinental title, so I don't see any way that that's going to be taken off of him.
Here's another hot take. Ludwig Kaiser, big fan of his. I see him holding a title. Not anytime soon, but down the road. I think he's a tremendous talent. I would love to see him be put in a main event spotlight, and we'll see if this is the place to do it. As always, you could drop it in the comments. What do you think? Bash in Berlin is it going to be a great PLE? Is it going to be a so-so? Are you going to watch? Are you going to watch later? Let us know in the comments. Recently, switching gears a little bit, Afa and Kevin Sullivan passed away. Those are two legendary, historic figures throughout the years. Do you guys have any thoughts on those guys? Kevin Sullivan, I actually met him twice, and short in stature, very short man, but a brilliant mind when it came to pro wrestling.
I never crossed paths with either of them, which is unfortunate for myself. I was always a big Kevin Sullivan fan, whether he was the pseudo-evil, never said it but alluded to it, devil worshiper down in Florida, the Florida territory, or my personal favorite, the head of the varsity club.
Yes.
I love that. It just worked for me. And as hokey as it could be, the Dungeon of Doom, he was the star of the Dungeon of Doom from the promos alone. Can we say underrated mind? I think a lot of people knew how influential he was on the booking and behind the scenes, but still maybe a little underrated.
Yeah, I don't know if he got his flowers he deserved until, unfortunately, he passed.
Very, very smart man. And it's unfortunate to hear that he was sick the last couple of years, and then this just took a turn for the worst the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And, R.I.P.
Yeah, he was hailing from Boston. He had that thick Boston accent. His in-ring career began in the early 70s. Best known for his time in World Championship Wrestling, WCW. Portrayed the heel, as Stefano said. Memorable feuds against Hogan, Dusty Rhodes, and Chris Benoit. Of course, Benoit's name was trending, unfortunately, when he passed as well, because people like to link that stuff up together, but absolutely had nothing to do with it. The Wild Samoans, they were quite the characters there. Of course, the WWE Hall of Famers Afa, the uncle of Roman Reigns, less than 2 months after his brother Sika passed away. Very sad news there, but I love the Wild Samoans, another team that really didn't get the love, but I think all the boys and girls knew just how good those guys were.
No, my first memories probably around, when was their last WWF run, 82, 83? I think that was about the first time I saw them. And upon first seeing them, I'm like, God, those guys don't speak a lick of English. Look at that. They were portrayed as crazy wild Samoans, and that's exactly what they came across as. And now, with the whole bloodline, which comes down from them, and it's the two pillars of the bloodline, and it's another bad loss for the wrestling community.
Well, and Afa is another person that, after his run in WWF came to an end, he was brought back briefly in the manager role with Yokozuna and things like that, the Samoan SWAT team. You saw him run an independent promotion out of Pennsylvania, WXW. That's where Billy Kidman came. MLW owner, promoter Court Bauer, former WWE head writer of SmackDown. So there's a lot of contributions to the business just above and beyond, birthing all these wrestlers, that make up the bloodline. That whole Samoan dynasty, was often what we referred to, that lineage prior to the bloodline storyline, and Afa was every bit a big part of that. Was a leader. So I never had the opportunity to meet him or interact with him. Was not on any shows with him, but everybody I know that knew him speaks very highly of him, speaks the world of him. And to tie it back to Kevin Sullivan as well too, I think our good friend, the Beer City Bruiser, he got to do some shows with Kevin. Kevin was in ROH for a little cup of coffee there, and they did independence together. And he thought the world of Kevin. He was very, very sweet. And one of my favorite podcasts that I listened to semi-recently back in the day, 6-7 years ago perhaps now, on the MLW podcast network, MSL hosted a show with Kevin Sullivan, and that was Kevin's like first foray into the podcasting lineage, and he let loose, and I think he was very honest. And you know, when you guys spoke about him being an underrated mind, I think so. Like WCW overtook WWE for those famous 83 weeks of #1 in the ratings, and he was absolutely on the booking committee. And a lot of times he dealt with tying up the loose ends of the underneath stuff. You know, maybe the Bischoffs, the Nashes of the world, they handled the main event ideas, but Kevin absolutely put a bow on it, helped it make sense for a TV format, helped progress storylines for the mid-card. And as hokey as the Dungeon of Doom was, it was very entertaining.
Sure.
And that was a heel's heel, man. He was such a vicious brawler and a great talker. And anybody that wants to be, you know, that's a fan of like the Bray Wyatt promos. You know, I think that Kevin Sullivan was definitely doing a version of that 2-3 decades before.
Yeah, in Florida Championship Wrestling, you could definitely say the Wyatt family sparked a little bit of interest from that. I recently, I think it was Kevin Sullivan's last autograph signing. He did a virtual signing with the former owner of Ring of Honor, and I think we'll have that clip for you too. You can check that out because we were speaking of Ring of Honor. Kevin Sullivan, Damien Priest, check this out right here.
Question, Devon or Devin, I will ask that. Somebody wants to know, in Ring of Honor in 2016, what was the plan for you and BJ Whitmer and Punishment Martinez?
Funny story. I told Punisher the second time I met him
Right.
that he'd be main event in WrestleMania inside of 5 years. I think I was pretty close.
That's good.
That guy has worked his ass off. He deserves everything he gets. And for our fans out there that saw his match, the ladder match,
Yeah.
watch real closely because he's dictating that match to everybody. And he's so smart. The time the ladder was the shits, he
Right.
got rid of it. Nobody else thought of that, you know? They could have got hurt, but and then when he was he in the Royal Rumble, or what was the one before he was in?
The Rumble probably, right, Mike? The pay-per-view? Yeah.
He was dictating the whole match there, too. The guy is just amazing. You know, he was over 300 pounds at one time.
I remember that.
You do?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I seen pictures of him
Yeah.
when he was heavy.
Yeah.
So I know Triple H is really high on him too. Like, so you still follow the product, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I thought this WrestleMania, the booking was the greatest booking I've ever seen.
It was so good.
Yeah, it was so good.
Just a little preview of Kevin Sullivan memory we had right there, which was very good. And you guys, I don't know if you remember, wasn't he on a court show with like Steve Harvey or something, where Kevin Sullivan and was it J.J. Dillon maybe like battled each other out, and then they hugged at the end. I mean, I'm sure they were working a bunch of people. It just popped in my head right now, but yeah,
I forget what it was over.
probably like $20 or something.
An unpaid debt.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting. So, as always, you can leave your comments, questions about Afa and the passing of Kevin Sullivan. The condolences go out to the family and friends of those guys. And speaking of the Bloodline, we're going to do this on the fly. We have a Bloodline game. Merc, are you going to help us out with this here?
Yes.
And in the magic of flash photography, quick snap, flickery, whatever you want to call it, shenanigans. Yes,
you mean an edit? We had to take an edit?
Yes, for an edit. That's the word I was looking for. The Bloodline game. Speaking of the Bloodline, Merc, what do you got for us here?
All right.
Set us up.
So you bet. So we're going to play a little game here between Angelo Stefano and our very own Devin.
All right.
So it's going to be the first two, 3 right or 3 wrong. 3 right, you win. You get 3 wrong, you lose. The other guy wins. So you will have a chance to pass or play.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you 2 wrestlers of the Bloodline, the Anawahi family tree.
Okay.
And you are going to tell me how they are related. So, okay. Are you ready? We'll start with Angelo Stefano to my left.
I'm ready.
Okay. So, main event, Jey Uso is related to Trinity Fatu, do you want to pass or play? AKA Naomi in WWE.
Ooh.
I'll play.
Okay. And how is Naomi and Jey Uso related?
She is his sister-in-law.
That is correct.
That's easy. That was an easy one.
So,
That was a hard
That
one.
was easy.
He always gives me.
You had to play it up like you. I don't know.
Oh, what? You're jealous.
all right.
Give me a softball like that one. Come on.
You got it. All right, buddy. Here you go. Jacob Fatu.
Okay, big fan of Fatu.
Yes, the Samoan werewolf is related to Rikishi. How?
I will play,
Okay.
and they are as Jacob Rikishi. That would be his uncle. Lock it in.
That is true. That is his first uncle. Jacob Fatu, the Samoan werewolf, is the son of the Tonga Kid, or
yeah.
Tama of the Islanders.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. But
who
Tonga
is
Kid.
brothers with Rikishi.
All right,
AKA
1 point for me. Woo.
Stefano, Umaga, and Yokozuna.
Ooh.
The late great Umaga, aka Jamal of 3 Minute Warning, and Yokozuna.
I'm gonna pass.
Devin.
Ooh.
It is currently tied 1-1.
Can you please use that in a sentence?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yokozuna is related to Umaga. How? How are they related within the bloodline, aka the Anawahi family tree?
They would be first cousins. Lock it in.
That is correct.
Oh, yes.
That is correct.
Oh.
Very good. Very good. Devin, you currently lead 2-1.
Okay. So I get this, I win.
So if you get this correct,
Ooh.
you win.
You doing okay?
All right. Okay. We have Solo Sequoia
Okay.
is related to Umaga. How?
Solo and Umaga. You know what? Because I feel bad for him, I'm going to go ahead and pass it to Stefano. Let's see if he knows this one.
All right.
The strategy right
Stefano,
here. Strategy.
the Samoan dynasty hinges on you. Solo Sequoia.
Solo would be Umaga's nephew.
That is correct.
Oh, what?
That is correct.
No!
Money.
What?
When the chips are down, the truly great geniuses of the world like myself rise up to meet the challenge.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Stefano, you
Wow.
can win.
He can actually win it. I made a big mistake here.
You can win it.
I want to pass. Oh, thanks, Stefano.
What? No.
Oh, wait.
What? No,
That sounded like a...
No.
I want to pass.
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
Roman Reigns is related to Rosie,
Ooh.
the superhero in training. How? Roman Reigns and the late Rosie, aka the superhero in training. How? Now, does Devin really want to answer it, or is he playing mind games?
I'm gonna try to answer this.
Okay.
They're first cousins.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
You are incorrect. Rosie.
Wait, can I answer this for the
No,
win?
you got to do.
Do I
a
get this
different
for the
one.
win?
No, he's got to do a different one.
Brothers. They're brothers.
So you got the one wrong. So that is correct. They are brothers. But Devin, you have a chance to win. The late great Gary Albright.
Okay.
All right. Did an amateur wrestling gimmick, very famous in Japan. Is related to Afa, who just passed away. How?
Gary Albright and Afa are related through marriage.
So you're saying Afa married Gary Albright?
No.
Oh, okay, okay.
But they married the same sisters? Lock it in?
That would be incorrect.
No!
Gary Albright married Afa's daughter, Monica.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
really?
I knew that.
You didn't know
Yes, I
that.
did.
No, you
That's for
didn't
the
know
win.
that.
For the
So-
win.
Oh.
I
each have
won. I
two
won
correct.
already. I won already
No, you
because
didn't.
I knew that.
Well, I knew
Yeah.
the last one.
No, you didn't.
Stefano.
Oh.
Zilla Fatu.
Oh.
I already won.
Shout out to our boy Zilla.
I already won. but-
Indie wrestling sensation. You can see him in the area take on our very own Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Ken Anderson.
November 1st.
November 1st in Rockland, Wisconsin. Zilla Fatu is related to Umaga. How?
Really? Really?
He is Umaga's son.
That is correct.
Wow.
Angelo Stefano wins.
Unbelievable. How much did you pay him off for this?
Really? Yeah.
I mean, coming from a Michigan guy, I didn't expect
don't-
anything different.
I don't pay to win. I just win and then get paid.
All right. Well, there is the Bloodline game. You can let us know how we did there.
I did great. I won.
Oh, yes. And
I
speaking...
don't need someone to tell me that I won.
Yeah, speaking of the Bloodline, a guy that married into the Bloodline, Tony Atlas. He used to team with Rocky Johnson. Rocky Johnson, of course, part of the Bloodline there. Yes, Mr. Tony Atlas is part of the trivia on today's show. Check it out.
Hi, this is Tony, Mr. USA Atlas, 2006 WWE Hall of Famer, inducted by Special Delivery S.D. Jones. When I appeared on Legend House, Rich of the following legends was not appearing on Legend House with me.
All right, that was Mr. USA Tony Atlas. If you know the answer to that trivia question, drop it below. We would love to hear from you. I'm a little heartbroken yet about this game. I don't know. I don't like it. Demand a rematch somehow,
No.
somewhere.
No, title's never going on the line.
Make sure you follow us on Instagram, TikTok, all over the place, Facebook. We are on the social media sites. Search Ultimate Wrestling Trivia. Of course, we have a brand new show that drops each and every Tuesday. And we have that Pro Wrestling Tea Store as well. All right, for Mike Merc, the man in the middle, Angelo Stefano,
Hey, Devin, guess what?
the cheater.
Guess what?
What?
I'm smarter than you.
Oh, that's debatable. My name is Devin. We will see you next Tuesday for Ultimate Wrestling Trivia, the show.